Sid thinks these little black things on the floor are raisins, I think. Welcome to the following morning, now in Dunsborough town centre. We just come for a little wander around, and I have had to walk back up to the van because I left you lot in there, forgot the blooming camera. There she is with the boss. So we're just going to have a nice little wander around Dunsborough and maybe have a little bit of lunch if we can find something healthy that's appealing. So Dunsborough is well, talking to our friend yesterday that we caught up with, Alison, she was saying that Dunsborough, there's not a great deal to do for older people here, which kind of figures, to be honest, because it's got a bit of a hip and trendy sort of surfy vibe to it. Seems to have changed a little bit more, doesn't it? Yeah, she said there's not much going on for the retirees, but it is a bit of a trendy sort of spot, I think, these days. They're catering a little bit more for the younger ones. Well, there's tons of little cafes in Dunsborough. Whether they're new ones or we've just not noticed them before, but plenty of them, but they're all a bit, they don't know how to charge, they're not shy. This is the famous Dunsborough Bakery. Looks a trendy little place. That's a very impressive looking place. That's the Geograph Hotel, which is right on the coast. And you're about to see the most impressive thing about Dunsborough and why it's such a popular town. It's a holiday little boat hole, really, for people who live in and around Perth. It's quite unique, Dunsborough, in that you can see, well, hopefully you can see how it stays shallow for a really long way out. So you can paddle in the water here and go out an amazing distance, which is lovely. We have some good friends that are lucky enough to have a holiday home about a 3-minute walk from the beach in Dunsborough, which is lovely for them. I mean, what a great place to be able to just pop down to for a few days away. It's lovely, isn't it, babe? You can paddle right the way out, can't you? This is the bakery that we quite often finish up at. So there's literally dozens of different dining options in Dunsborough these days. Just about a perfect temperature today as well. It's about 17-18 degrees, which is spot on. So we've left the Southern Stars Holiday Park and we're basically on our way down to Margaret River. We decided to have another day in Dunsborough yesterday, so we last minute change of plans. But we've stopped off at this place. This is called Peaceful Park. It's about 25 minutes outside Margaret River, and if you just listen, it's silent, absolutely silent. You're basically in the middle of the forest, which is kind of cool. Sid seems to have settled in quite nicely. He seems quite happy. Looks like he's a bit ready for a snooze, actually. One of the reviews I read about this place, apart from the fact that they all said how super quiet and secluded it felt, was that they'd woke up in the morning and the place was full of kangaroos. So it'd be very interesting to see what Sid makes of kangaroos. There's a little makeshift fire pit there. Might be nice to sit round at night, maybe. Get our chairs out this evening. So they supply nothing here apart from somewhere to park. There's no dump point, there's no water, so you've got to come with all your tanks full and take everything with you when you go, but that's fine. You alright, Siddy? It's time for something to eat, I believe. Ah, we've got the staff on the job. You all right, staff?
I am. I'm fine.
Well, good morning and welcome to the following day. So we've left Peaceful Park, which was very peaceful. Had a nice, very quiet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good night's sleep. We met another couple there that was in another motorhome. Had a nice little chat with them. A couple of glasses of wine, that was nice. And we're now on our way to Margaret River, but we've stopped as we pass through Cowaramup, which is otherwise known as Cowtown. So I'm not quite sure why they call it Cowtown. A bit strange. So we've been through Cowaramup several times before, and it is a nice little place. What is the connection with cows? I don't know. But they have fake cows everywhere you look. So we just had a little wander around the site last night. We were, as you saw, kind of in the middle of the forest, more or less. We had been told we might wake up to a field full of kangaroos. That didn't happen, although we did see a few kangaroos in the early evening as we had a wander with Sid. So we just have a leg stretch here and then head on to Margaret River, where we are on a quest for Yelling Up fruit loaf, which I believe there is now a place in Margaret River that does this wood-fired bread, and they do the best fruit loaf that we've ever had. Another cow. So hopefully later today or tonight we'll be able to show you said fruit loaf. More cows. More cows over the road there. And you just noticed this. Look at the window display there. It's all cows. There must be a reason behind it. It can't purely be for novelty value, but people do talk about Cowtown. Another one. And more. Somebody must have the contract for cow manufacture, mustn't they? Making fiberglass cows. He's obviously raking it in. Yeah, nice little chocolate and toffee shop over there. Not that we're interested in chocolate or toffees, as you can imagine. And a nice little park. Oh, Angie, look, there's a playground. There you go.
Wanna go play?
Go on, I'll wait for you. She loves a playground, does Angie?
You're a wee bit, aren't you?
Go on, I'll wait for you. Gonna have a quick swing. Oh, there's a wishing well. Shall we have a go at the wishing well? I know what's going to happen. If Angie's wish comes true, I'm going to vanish. Pretty? Pretty Polly? We have discovered this morning that because I was on a free camp last night, there's no dump point, there's no water. So we've come, Cowaramup has a public dump point, so just emptied the toilet, but the availability of water in the Margaret River region seems to be terrible. The app that we use, Wikicamps, suggests that there's 6 places in Margaret River to get water, but the truth is 5 of them only allow for the filling of water cans. You can't fill your caravan or motorhome tank, which is very strange really. It's the first time we've had any sort of issue finding water, and it seems the best option is to go to the information centre in Margaret River and you pay $2 for the use of their tap. Well, considering they're a tourist town and they want to attract people, to charge caravanners and motorhomers and campers for water is a bit mean really. As I say, first time we've come across that, but $2 is neither here nor there, but it just seems a strange, they've gone out of the way to make it as awkward as possible by the looks of things. Well, that's a very cute little country church, isn't it? Come on, Sid. Come on. So we've had a little stroll round Cowaramup and we'll head off in the Margaret River direction now, I think. So we have just arrived at Margaret River. This is the main street in Margs. Now for some strange reason, I mean we've been here many times, but it tends to remind us of Bowness in the Lake District, not far from where we're from, doesn't it? It reminds us of Bowness. Not really quite sure why that is, because it doesn't look like it, but yeah. So we'll have a wander up the main street. So this is the, I think it's the Margaret River Hotel that they've been renovating for some time now. We have eaten in there a while ago. We had some friends that moved down to Margaret River and we came to see those guys and we went in there. The food was really good, but it seems to have been under renovation for a long time, doesn't it? It's supposedly 19 degrees at the moment, but it actually feels a bit chilly. Having said that, other people are wandering around in shorts and t-shirts, so... And she's pointing out lolly shops again. I don't know why. She knows I don't like anything sweet. Been in here before. That was quite good actually, wasn't it? So we've just succumbed to the lure of the cafe once again. Basically let ourselves down, I suppose you'd say. In my case it was a bacon and egg wrap, and in Angie's case it was a crispy chicken wrap with a coffee and a small chips to share. So yeah, the diet thing is not going well, and the frustrating thing is that we both rated it 6 out of 10. So that's most annoying. It's not too bad if you give it a really good high mark, but absolutely average. I didn't take any pictures of it because I wasn't going to admit that we'd had it, but then I did, so now you know. So Margaret River is very much a surfy sort of place. They hold surfing competitions, I believe, near here, and there's a lot of surf shacks and such like. An interesting little story we heard some years ago when our friends moved down here. He said that whenever you have any work done at home and you organise for a tradesman to come, and the tradie says he'll be there at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, and typically 8 o'clock comes, no tradie. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, no tradie, not answering his phone, and he eventually shows up at say 1:30, and you say to him, what happened to you? You're supposed to be here at 8 o'clock. And he says, surf was good. And apparently that's the way it goes in Margaret River. If the surf's good, they just go surfing. The locals surf, and work very much becomes second place. Maybe that's right. This place that we're just coming up to on the left here, Settlers Tavern, we've been in there several times, and that is good food. Nice atmosphere and good grub. So today is our second day at Olive Hill Farm. We have just had another little drive into Margaret River and had another little wander around there, and we're just going to have a walk down to the river here and see what that's like. I don't think it's too far, about 10 minutes or so maybe, not sure. So we'll go and have a nosy. So it was a lovely quiet night last night. It was literally silent, wasn't it, babe? Just the odd little bit of noise from the sheep, and we woke up this morning to sheep wandering all round the motorhome, which was quite nice. The owner who came to say hello yesterday mentioned that the fence along here is electric. She said I'd be tempted not to try it. She said people have a tendency to want to touch it to see if it's actually working, and she said I can assure you it is working. She suggested we go through the gate at the end. That's a bit safer apparently. So on the way back yesterday we called at the Margaret River wood-fired bread shop, bakery, and got some of their kind of almost world famous, in Western Australia it's world famous anyway, fruit loaf. Their fruit loaf. I mean, just check this out. It's absolutely full of fruit. It's got figs in it and all sorts. It's sourdough. I think it's sourdough, and it's absolutely delicious. We also got a seeded sourdough loaf, which we just had some sandwiches with yesterday. But yeah, that's really nice. Best Best fruit loaf we've ever had. Come on, City. The actual site that we're on is the sheep everywhere. So there's sheep and kangaroo droppings all over the place. Go on. With a few rabbit droppings mixed in. And unfortunately, Sid seems to class them as some sort of delicacy. So we spent the whole time that we're here trying to drag him away from anything he can find on the floor. They're gross, aren't they? Dogs sometimes. Yeah. So apparently this little trail goes down to the river. So I got a very nice comment this morning from somebody that's been watching our videos. If the memory serves me rightly, I think it was Patricia and Richard. Great that people are watching. It's really nice that they're getting something out of what we're doing. But they were asking about our microphones, and I think they thought that this was the actual microphone, when in actual fact it's just a magnet. Microphone's on the inside of my jumper, just to help shield from the wind. But we do use the little dead cats, the little fluffy things as well, just to keep that bit more wind out. And effectively you just have a little receiver that you attach to your camera, and the microphones are wireless. They work great. In terms of cameras, we're also DJI. Came away from GoPro some time ago. GoPros we found to be just incredibly unreliable. So we're using DJI Osmo Action 3s. The 4 and the 5 are out now, but to be honest, for what I'm doing, the 3s that I've had for some time do the job admirably. No problem with them at all. So yeah, hopefully that's of some help. Well, that looks quite nice down there. Yeah, let's have a bit further nosy down there, Angie. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah. You can probably go a bit further round that way, I think. There's a bit more river. Super quiet round here. It's really nice, isn't it? And really dark at night. You can see all the stars. Stars seem to come right down to the floor, don't they, almost? Picnic table out here. Looks like we might have reached the end of the trail. What's this? What's this? Looks like a pump. Is it a pump? Pumping water up from the river. Yeah. I hope that's not what we've... Well, no, we haven't had any water from here, have we? I'm going to say, I hope that's not what we've been drinking, but I don't think it will be for human consumption, that. Yeah, it must be what they water the land with, potentially.
Come on, what are you doing?
What are you up to, Sid? Yep, looks like we can go no further. So, we go back, Siddy? The other thing we've decided just this morning, and this is really because we keep getting told by people that we're meeting that are towing in various ways small cars, that especially when we go over east after Christmas and we want to tour the east coast, that we're going to find it very difficult without another car. So we've tried to research this as much as we can, and we're really not sure which way to go with it. So what we've decided this morning, we're about 4 hours away from home, so we're actually going to head home tomorrow, and we're going to pick up our car, and then we're going to continue back in a slightly different direction, but still southwest, for the remainder of this trip, which is another month, just to see how we go on with the car. We won't be towing it. Angie will be literally following me in the car from site to site, just to see really if having a car and being able to site the motorhome for a few days and trip around the local area in a car makes a big difference or not. Our car might be a little bit big for doing that, but it's very economical, so we're going to give it a whirl and just do a sort of a test period, and at the end of it hopefully decide to take a car with us over east or not. So that should be quite interesting. It'll add a little bit of another dimension to what we're doing at the moment.
A few flies round here.
Yeah, there just seem to be a few more flies down here. We've had hardly any flies since we headed sort of south of home. If you've seen our previous videos, we were absolutely plagued by flies, but there's been very few down here, but there is a few, maybe just down near the river, yeah. The other thing I think we've decided is, in the little gap around the sort of Christmas break time, when we're back at home, I think we're going to get a diesel heater for in the van. We have had a couple of mornings where it's been quite chilly. So I think a diesel heater, we have a little gas heater, but I think a diesel heater would be a bit more of a sort of a user-friendly fix. So I think that's, oh, hear the kookaburra? That's a great noise. So yeah, I think a diesel heater might be the best solution for that. Honestly, you would think that we don't feed this dog. Whenever we come out, he's on a quest to find food. He's eating grass, he's eating anything he can get hold of. Oi! Stop it! Well, that was a nice little walk. Slightly marred by the flies for the second half. Seemed to just find us about halfway through, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, very annoying. But we're back at the site now. So I think we're on the build up to dinner now, aren't we really?
I'm not hungry.
No, I'm not hungry yet. Well, that's the next event for the day, I think.
Wind down.
Yeah.
Go and have a glass of something nice.
Yeah, we could have a glass of something, couldn't we? It's a nice little site. Marred, in our case, by Sid's fascination for the poo that is all over the place, really. So welcome to the following morning. Oh, hang on. Let's have a quick look in here. Well, that's not very exciting, is it? Slow down and then I can get you in. It looks like I'm on my bloody own. Oh, hang on. Sid has decided it's time to deposit something, so we're having to have a bit of a break now. As you can see here, you have a little receiver that's attached to the side of your camera, and then the microphones are wireless. You can have one each or whatever. That's a bit shit. Sid thinks these little black things on the floor are raisins, I think.
Oh, we don't eat raisins.